Calling the regular meeting of the Spotswood Borough Council to order. The notice requirements provided in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given in the new schedule of meetings of the Spotswood Borough Council on December 27, 2017. The new schedule was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and Sentinel. It was filed with the clerk of the Borough of Spotswood and posted in the municipal building located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey. I would just ask in the moment of silence after the salute to the flag that you keep the family of Chris Brower, who is a local man, in your thoughts and prayers. Chris actually coached baseball with my husband for many years. Our children grew up together and went to Spotswood schools, and he passed away recently at the young age of, I think he was 58. So please keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and let's salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Councilman Stolen?
Here.
Councilman Ritchie?
Here.
Councilman Malillo?
Here.
Councilman Rivera?
Yeah.
Council President Rhodes?
Here.
Mayor Sealy?
Here.
We have some minutes this evening. We have the minutes, the caucus meeting, September 5th, 2018.
Make a motion, move the caucus minutes of September 5th?
Second it.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
We have the regular meeting minutes from September 5th, 2018.
Make a motion, we move those minutes.
Motion, move the minutes.
Second it.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Councilwoman Rhodes?
Yes.
We have minutes from the caucus meeting of September 17th, 2018.
Make a motion to move the caucus meeting September 17th, 2018.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
We have the minutes from September 17th, 2018 from the regular meeting.
Make a motion, we move those
Motion,
minutes.
accept the minutes.
Second.
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes.
We have resolutions on the consent agenda for October 1st, 2018. Council President and council members, I will take a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda, resolutions 2018-142 through 2018-149.
Make a motion, we move the consent agenda, 2018-142 through 149.
Second?
Councilman Stolen?
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie?
Yes.
Councilman Malillo?
Yes.
Councilman Rivera?
Yes.
Council President Rhodes?
Yes. We did the proclamations, so let's do the liaison reports. We'll start down here with Jose. Jose?
I have nothing right now.
Ted?
I have nothing, just, Dawn, have we had any other requests over at Clearwater for bulk pickup other than the one or two that we knew about?
There was one for a cork board.
Yep. Other than that?
Nope.
Okay. So Public Works is, that's it, we're covered.
Okay.
Culture and Heritage had a meeting this past week. They're getting back into their meetings after a summer break. Great group of dedicated residents that are searching for ways to bring history to life in our town. Sorry. And they have done some things that they really haven't been recognized for lately. They put up a new plaque and storyboard in front of the library for the Stagecoach Trail that used to lead to Trenton.
I saw that.
Beautiful plaque. And they had completed the mill wheel at the lake with a nice plaque. Initially, we thought there was going to be some type of dedication, but with the lake in disarray right now, they're waiting on that. But they're looking for additional grants and looking for other things that they can do, some other projects they can do.
Great.
That's it.
John?
Yes.
Any reports?
Just the Board of Education. It's tomorrow night. Board of Education, tomorrow night. High school library, 7 o'clock, get over there. And the library is the 18th, Main Street, 7 o'clock at the library on Main Street. Go down there and read some books too. That's it.
Thank you, John.
I want to say one thing.
Sure.
For the parents that are here and for the parents that are watching, we just had a kid that got hit the other day over on Summerhill Crossing. A lot of these kids in the morning, they're going over to grab a bite to eat at Manhattan. Crossing in front of those tracks or in back of those tracks is tough because cars are coming up over a hill crest, and by the time they crest that track, that kid's 25 feet in front of them. Their perception and reaction time is zero. They're going to hit somebody. Stress to your kids to just walk up the side of the road until they get to a flat spot and then cross over by the high school or by the municipal building. Nobody wants to see these kids get hit. Thank God this kid's okay. I know he got banged up and some broken bones, but it could have been a lot worse. Stress to these kids, don't cross by those tracks.
Thank you, Ted. That's a very timely warning. Mayor?
Oh, sure. Fall hydrant flushing is now posted on the Borough website. September it started. We're working in October now, which is over by Appleby Avenue, Brunswick Avenue, in that area. October 9th will be over by Adirondack Avenue in that area. And October 15th will be by Brookside through Woodland, all in that area. It's posted on the Borough website, so if you want to see exactly what day it's going to happen and approximately what time, you can find it there. As I said, the new fall collection pamphlet's out, and as I understand, you can pick it up here at the Borough, or you can pick it up also on our website to find out what you can do with either your grass, and snow removal should be in there, but we missed that a little bit, I guess. Recycling, and certain things you can't get rid of in town here, like tires, paint. Tells you where you can get rid of them. It also tells you a little brief history on where you shouldn't get rid of them, because a lot of people seem to think that you can dump something into the sewer main and it just goes in the sewer. Well, your water goes into that main, it gets reprocessed, and you drink it. So if you're dropping gasoline and oil down there, it's not a good thing.
That's a good warning, Ed.
It is a good warning. It's a very stiff fine, too. If you get caught, the first offense is $5,000, and there's no pleading it or nothing. You pay $5,000, so. And upcoming is the first ever Spotswood Rec and Helmetta Borough Fishing Derby. Due to the fact that we are in the construction period of ours, the dredging, Helmetta has opened their lake to us, and it's going to be a joint venture, which I think is about time that both towns really merge together on rec ideas, since they basically go to our school system anyway. That's going to be on October 20th between 8 and 10 a.m. If you don't know that already, it is a free fishing day for adults as well. You do not have to have a license to fish that day, so if you want to go out and have some fun, buy a pole and have a good time. They give prizes, and the prizes are basically for the children between the age of 3 and 14.
Bring your own bait.
Excuse me?
Bring your own bait.
Bring your own bait, yes, bring your own bait, bring your own lures. A little premature, I guess, but I did remember reading somewhere October 31st is a trunk or treat through rec as well, over at the Spotswood High School. That's always a fun event. I'm probably going to decorate my vehicle this year for that. Hope to see a lot of people at that, and pretty much, one more thing, you didn't mention it, Councilman Stolen.
Pancake
The
breakfast.
pancake breakfast.
How could you forget?
I'm in the swing of getting it all together.
And I believe that's the 29th, right?
Yes.
Sunday the 29th,
It is.
for Halloween.
Mine.
And the prices again are $8.
$8.
$8?
Adults, $7.
There we go, someone's got the flyer.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Children.
Thank
Come
you.
one, come all, we welcome everybody. You won't see me much though, I'm hiding in the kitchen.
Yes, you are.
Other than that, I believe that's all I got, Council President.
Thank you very much. Okay.
They got a bus
Motion we open
too.
for the public?
Second.
There's a bus.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This is your time to come up and talk about whatever you would want. So please come up to the podium, just announce your name and address.
Lillian Chinesco, 294 Woods End Court.
Welcome, Lillian.
As the Clearwater Residents Association liaison, I wish to inform the Spotswood Council of the association's efforts to deal with the feral cat problem. Back in April or May of this year, there was a discussion of East Brunswick Animal Control's role in dealing with Spotswood feral cat problem. Council stated that feral cats referred to East Brunswick for disposition would pick up, examine, and release the cats back into their environment without spaying or neutering because it's so costly. Since a feral cat problem exists at Clearwater, East Brunswick Animal Control does not remedy the problem. The association has accepted and implemented the method suggested by Clearwater resident who voluntarily worked with the North Brunswick Humane Association to trap, neuter, or spay, examine for feline leukemia, and dispense distemper and necessary shots. Since May or June to current time, she has trapped, spayed, and/or neutered 5 adult cats, rescued 2 litters, for a total of 7 kittens. The kittens were sheltered along with their spayed mothers until they were 7 weeks old. 6 kittens were placed with adoptive homes. The 7th had a hernia operation and is expected to be placed. All kittens were neutered or spayed along with the necessary shots before being placed. The mothers were released to their own environment, no longer a problem to increase the feral cat population. The male adults were neutered as well and also released back to their familiar areas. The New Brunswick Humane Association, with their veterinarians, performed over $11,000 of services without charge to the community. These dedicated volunteers rely entirely on donations. Clearwater residents have been generous in their contributions to this dedicated group, but obviously fall short compared to services received. I'm asking the council to encourage animal lovers to consider volunteering within their neighborhoods, to consider monitoring and learning how to identify and help in the control of the feral cat population. Please contact me and I will follow through with a referral.
Lillian, that sounds like a wonderful, wonderful effort.
I have to admit that I am not an animal lover, and I'm not crazy about cats, but after spending time and listening to the woman who had volunteered and works with the North Brunswick Association, I couldn't wait to open up my checkbook and make a donation. I'm not asking any money from the council, but I would like to find a way to encourage to be able to get donations for this problem, or have people working in different areas like in the apartments or in certain neighborhoods to be able to sit and watch and wait for the feral cats if they feel they have a problem. But I don't know if you make it illegal to feed the cats, but this is how they have to be able to trust the person who's going to try to trap them.
Right, right. I've got to say, 25 years ago, we had feral cats in Willow Clark Circle, which is the backside of Clearwater Village, you know, so you go through the woods and over the tracks, over the stream. Willow Clark Circle is right there. And we had an issue with one of the cats being rabid and biting a child who had to go through the rabies shots. So I am fully on board with what your association is doing, and that volunteers should be really lauded for their efforts. And it was the North Brunswick Humane Society?
Yes.
Okay, so I would encourage others to absolutely donate to that cause.
Well, we're also looking for volunteers if they have the feral cat problem in their areas.
I think that's a great idea.
Which brings about another item, as I noticed in the bills, that East Brunswick Animal Control bill was about $1,800, and I thought that what we do is, I thought we were paying $450 a month for that, for their services. What does that $1,800 cover?
Dawn, can you speak to that?
$450 is just for them to be available during business hours. If they get called out after hours, there's an additional fee. If there's a shelter charge or a vet charge, that's an additional fee as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian, for informing us about that. And you took the first step is coming here and reading that statement so that people are aware of what was going on and what is going on. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well, is there a way that maybe we can put what she's talking about on our website so people see it?
If she wants to submit something for review, sure.
Lillian,
If you submit something for review.
why don't you submit something to Dawn? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Harris.
Submit something to Dawn, what you just read. Maybe we can try and get it on the borough website so people can see it there and they'll be able to
Okay.
donate or volunteer, because not everybody will see from this meeting.
Thank you. Anyone else? Come on up and
Hi, my name is Jonathan Wasserman, and I live on 305 Burlington Avenue, Spotswood, New Jersey.
hi, Jonathan.
Hi. I have some handouts, actually, for you. They're an email
Come on up.
that I sent to Mary Seeley about my Eagle Scout project. So there's only 10.
Thank you for coming tonight.
We did discuss this at our last meeting.
All right. Okay. Sorry.
That's
Very
okay,
busy.
no, I'm glad you're here.
Hello and good evening, Mayor Seeley and fellow council members. My name is Jonathan Wasserman, and I am a current Life Scout of Spotswood Troop 35. I'm 16 years old, and I attend Spotswood High School, and I've been a scout for almost 10 years now. I'm coming to the end of my journey, and I've come here tonight to talk to you about my Eagle Scout project. I've been asked by the librarian from the Spotswood Public Library to build and install free little libraries in a few places around town. A free little library is a small weatherproof container that holds books for the public to borrow or swap. These little libraries promote the Spotswood Public Library and encourage reading throughout the community. I would like your consent tonight to build a free little library at Mundy Avenue Park, be near the front gate. They will be conveniently located near the benches in the center of the park. The little libraries are designed to be as maintenance-free as possible, so the Spotswood Public Library will be responsible for maintaining their condition and making sure they're all putting books in them and making sure they're all okay. I'm also planning on building one in front of the Shonley School after I get their permission and stuff. I'm also building one more in front of the library after they finish renovating. That is my project, and does anyone have any questions about my project or my experiences as a Boy Scout?
Jonathan, thank you for coming to our meeting and informing us about this great project. The only question I have is the volunteers or the paid staff will take care of these book libraries, these little libraries?
I'm actually not very sure about I was told by the librarian that her staff would just take care of putting books in them, making sure they're all like maintained so they all look nice in the park, they look nice in front of Shonley, and that's all I was told on the staff.
Yeah, the only concern I would have is following up, because, you know, once they're completed and up, that your project is completed. It's just you have to look at sustainability of the items, because I can just see that issues might arise if they're not maintained, like somebody's not looking in them to make sure that there's no contraband or some garbage or anything dropped in them by vandals.
Yeah, I know that I asked this because this was an important concept for me and my scoutmaster about maintaining them, about if it would be me or the librarian, and she said that her staff would maintain them.
Okay,
So
great. Thank you.
I will follow up on that for you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, me.
Okay.
Jonathan, I'm going to have John Mayer from our Department of Public Works reach out to you, and he'll coordinate with you with putting the one up by Mundy Park.
Okay.
Okay? And
Yep.
congratulations on a good project.
Thank you.
I waited till now because we did discuss this at our last meeting,
Yes.
but I got an email from Jonathan stating he wanted to come to the meeting and present it, so I didn't move just yet. I wanted him to come in because he knows you have to work the whole project to make it count.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations.
Thanks for
Thank
the
you very much.
presentation, Jonathan.
Thank you for having me.
Jonathan, just a quick question. Have you gone to the Board of Ed yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay,
But
all right.
I have emailed them, and I emailed the principal, and she's redirecting me So that's as far as I'm
Because
going.
John, when is the Board of Ed meeting? Tomorrow night, you said?
No, that's, library's the 18th.
And what about the Board of Education
It's
meeting?
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, okay.
The library, the Board of Ed's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at the high school library.
Okay.
Down there,
Okay,
it's 18th in the library, on Main Street.
Okay.
thank you very much, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Good luck
Good
with
luck
your
to you. Good
quest
luck.
to be an Eagle Scout.
Thank you.
The Eagle Scout has to go home and do his homework.
Thank you, Paul. Paul is a valued member and has been for a long time of the Spotswood Recreation Volunteer Committee, and truly been a role model to his son. So we're very grateful for your support.
Thanks, Marge. And with 3 Eagle Scouts of your own, you're also,
We've been through that, this, been there, done that. It's a wonderful thing.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Oh, Donna.
Donna Losco, once again. When is the dredging of the lake going to be done? I'm excited.
We all are.
You know how long I've been looking at that
Done,
Mr.
yes.
Mayor? Rudgy Lake?
Done is a very tricky word, as you know, it's a big project.
Yes.
We are meeting on Wednesday with the DEP because they control the funding, and what has to happen is,
He controls the funding?
yeah, well, it's a loan, like when everybody said they gave me 2.5 million, all of a sudden everybody thought I had 2.5 million in the bank. That's not how it works. We have to go there with a proposal to show them exactly what we intend to do. They have to approve that proposal, and then the funding starts to get released in segments of what we're going to do. I believe CME is going with me, my BA, and our Department of Public Works Director, John Mayer. And we're pretty much ready for them. We just want to get the ball moving. We already got the permits covered, which was the biggest deal.
That is a
Permits
big-
take a lot of
right.
time. We've had them for a while.
Yeah.
So as soon as they say, okay, I believe you're going to see some impressive work getting done. And I'm pretty sure, if you can hear me out there, Senator Greenstone, we get ready to need a little more money, I can knock on that door again.
So just the DEP is giving you money for this project?
No,
Aren't
actually,
we
no,
putting
the
in-
governor's given us the money,
Okay.
but the DEP controls it. It's that word red tape, which is just so lovely. And you have to propose to them what you're going to do before they'll release it. And it's probably a good idea too, because I really wouldn't want to be halfway in a project and have them come in and say, you can't do that.
Right.
But I think we're ready, and I think when we get there, we'll have a better answer we'll have laid our plan out Wednesday. We'll see how long it takes them to tell me go.
Okay, so I'll come to another meeting.
Because I want to do it.
We're always
Hopefully
glad
I'll
to have you.
find
Well, I
Don.
want to start during the winter because it's the best time.
Right now, also, we're looking into FEMA's post-mitigation,
Thank you.
hazard mitigation grants. Me and Bruce are looking into and speaking to a guy from Washington right now. He can't get back to us because right now he's assigned to Carolina, that's Storm
Yeah.
Meredith. So once he gets back, we'll have some idea which direction we gotta go to apply for these grants.
Okay, well, good
So-
luck. Hope we see it soon.
You and me both.
Oh, go ahead.
Good evening. Haven't been here in a while.
Good evening, thank you for coming.
I got 4 issues I wanted to talk about tonight. And the first one is something that's been going on for a while. We all had this conversation. I've had this conversation with 3 other mayors.
Excuse me.
Your name?
All right.
Oh, Tom
Name?
Gruzbowski,
Okay.
304 Brunswick Ave. But like I said, we had this conversation with 3 mayors, Ed Seeley, and the 2 or 3 previous mayors concerning signs across from my house. This weekend, I ran into a problem with a guy putting out signs for his his wife selling a house or whatever. He came to my door, threatened me he's going to cut the tires on my truck. So he says, well, then he's going to call the police. And I had a witness standing with me at the house. So we said, well, call the police. We want this on record. So 2 police officers eventually came, and we talked to them, told them what was going on. And the guy's claiming because it's a house sign, he could put it out and blah, blah, blah. Now, we've been through this, I don't know how many times, talked with everybody about the quality of life with signs across from your house or on your property with balloons, whirly birds, and all this other stuff that end up falling off, even though the guy, you know, this day, he's telling the police how, oh, it's only 4 hours and blah, blah, blah. So my other point is, across from me, they have a sign about a historic site. So isn't this technically a historic site's land that the town could pass something that no signs in any such way can be over there? Because we've had this discussion with, like I said, with numerous mayors, and even one mayor was a police officer, and he agreed with me. The signs, he directed all the borough workers even to rip the signs down. There's not supposed, I understand, if I knew the story right, Mr. DeStefano, when he owned the land, got sued. And the town, I believe, had some kind of lawsuit incurring, or maybe they didn't get completely sued, but there was something involved. And that's when Barry Zagnut, I believe, said, no, every sign will come down, and he instructed the borough workers. So one of the officers said to me, well, are you a borough worker? And I said, no, but I've been living here, and I've been living here since 1977. And I said, and this has been a common occurrence. If it's not signs, it's people with dogs, it's garbage falling off trucks going by my house, which I've been cleaning up for years. And I do that a few times a week. If you go by my property, you might not like my cars there, but go by and tell me that there's garbage all over my lawn. There isn't. So I want to get this straightened out in some way or form, that if they can put a sign there or something for these people that think that they're going to keep putting signs all over this corner. My neighbor in East Brunswick, Pete, he would have came tonight, but he had something to do with his family. He's the same way. He's got the same issue going on in East Brunswick. They pull up and they can nail signs to the poles, they can stick signs in the ground, and if they feel like picking them up, well, you're just going to look at them and live with it. And then they blow over. We've even had, and I'm not going to say who, but one of your political people left a sign the last political election laying down the street by one of the other telephone poles, and it laid in the woods for months. So if we're all concerned about, we have sewers that have and take a look at the sewer by my house. There's constantly garbage in that sewer. It washes from down the hill. I clean it up. The town comes by when I see them or tell them to clean it up. And it's a constant thing. It's a quality of life thing already. And if it doesn't get picked up in the sewer, it's blown on a windy day up onto my property. So Grzybowski again can clean up some more stuff. So if I'm going to keep doing this, is there a way I can get paid for this? Because I'm tired of talking about it.
Tom, this is across the street from your house. This is not on your curb or your
the ones on
sidewalk, right?
I made the point once here about on my property, and I could advise anybody in the town. Because my point at one of the meetings was, and I was told by all of you, that you're right. On my property, right, if I don't shovel my snow and somebody falls, who gets sued? Me. Or you people find me and tell me you didn't shovel your snow, right? So I have to control what goes on that property. If there's signs that somebody can trip on my side anyway, it's going in the garbage. I don't care who comes by. It's going in the garbage. It's not going to be there.
Well, political signs, really, they should ask for permission before they put them on your property.
Well, and during the election, people did, and people put stuff on my property, and that was fine. And I even put them in key locations for them. But what happens is with these other signs, they think because they're a business, and I understand, isn't it a commercial business isn't supposed to be able to put any signs anywhere in the town without permits? So where's all these permits for them? You got Davis Realty, every realtor, I don't care, name every one of them. They all do it, every one of them. And they got whirly gigs on them, they got pinwheels, they got balloons, and then the balloons dry up or die out with the helium, and now they're laying. So now it falls off, but they come and take their sign. Well, all the garbage is still laying there, and then it's blowing across the street, or blowing into Pete's yard, or my other new neighbor's yard.
Usually real estate, I know that I've seen them putting them out, and then they come and get them, because they are pretty expensive, some of them that are nicer. So, I'm sorry that this is happening to you, Tom, but it's across the street from your house, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's technically on your property. Isn't that Green Acres that this town owns?
Well, it was the DeStefano property, and yes, we did purchase it as a town, and we do have it. So usually during an election, there is spaces by the Welcome to Spotswood signs that political signs do go up, but political signs are supposed to come down after 30 days and be, not be left up forever. So if a sign blows down, hopefully people mark where they put their political signs, and then they go and collect them. But if it's not on your property, I'm not sure what the ordinance is that you can take signs off the other side of the street.
I understand that when there was a few accidents and there was the original lawsuit that they claimed they couldn't see down the street on the DeStefano property at the time, they claimed that the grass was too high, and I knew Pat DeStefano. I did a lot of work for him over the years on his equipment and stuff, and we always talked about this. And he said, yeah, they said they couldn't see because of the grass being too high. Then they said there were signs and they couldn't see that. No, they ran through the red light is what happened. So my point is, if there's signs there and they're looking at the signs, and there's a crash and they end up on my property, which I've had, cars in my driveway, cars up against the trees, on my front steps. So the way I'm looking at it is that if you people aren't going to do something about it, when there's an accident onto my property, you're helping promote it. So my point was, when I saw the sign across the street, the historic site sign, which is fine with me, why can't it be designated that it's a historic, planting site or whatever it is, and there shouldn't be anything over there? And you don't have to give me an answer now. Think about it, whatever. I just want to bring this to your attention because I'm not moving. The day I die, I might be seeing you, Mr. Ritchie. Oh, and by the way, your building's one of the best-looking buildings in Spotswood. You did a great job on that.
I agree with that totally.
I was hoping it would be a restaurant because, man, it's nice looking.
Not going to be a restaurant.
It's a rest stop, though.
That's true.
Okay, now I'm going to move on.
Okay, Tom.
About a month ago, a garbage truck from our borough came down the street to go to the dump, Edgeboro Road, I believe, that's where we still use. It was after a major rainstorm. When they took off from the light and turned the corner and went up Old Stage Road, probably 50 or 60 gallons of water splashed out of the hopper with the garbage, with the stench, with the oil, the grease, and everything. Now, technically, from what I've always known, that's a biohazard. So I saw John Mayer one day, and I looked, and all the way down Brunswick Avenue, where they pulled out of the borough yard, there was a big slick of grease and the same crap that was all over by my house, stinking to high heaven. And it was 100-degree days then. So John said, yeah, I know, I saw that. And I told the guys, I said, well, a friend of mine has been at the garbage business up in Edgeboro Road for over 30 years, said all those garbage trucks have to have a mandatory hopper valve on them. That's the lowest part of the truck that will collect water, grease, oil, whatever people throw in, because we know they never throw anything in that they shouldn't throw in there. And it's not supposed to be leaking. That's called loaded to spill if you're dumping your stuff on the road. That includes sand out of a dump truck, rocks off of a dump truck, and water or garbage falling out of a garbage truck. So I figured it was taken care of. Last week, the same thing. The truck went by, water came out. I think a bag of garbage ended up over in East Brunswick, which the town came by later and picked up. But there was blocks of wood, which I understand, speaking with John Mayer's son, somebody dumped a bunch of wood in the borough yard, which I know they're having a guy now to watch that. But I guess water was in that dumpster. So when they dumped it into the truck should have been gone over to a drain and drained out whatever they did before it went on the road. I want to know, are they going to do something about this? Or is the next time I see it, I call hazmat? Because when hazmat comes, who's ever at fault's going to be paying. So I'm trying to save you some money here.
That's a good point. I don't know about dump trucks and I don't know about hopper valves, but we'll look into it, Tom, and find out.
Okay. I would think you would know something with that. You work for Waste Management, don't you?
I know all about it.
Okay.
Problem is, it shouldn't happen often, but it will happen from time to time because the collection tank, is what you're referring to, can only hold so much water. So say you go out and pick up the trash on like a miserable rainy day, there's just not enough room for the water. And as you compress garbage, you know what happens. It's like squeezing a sponge. And while I don't like it no more than you can't really gather all of it.
Okay, but what I usually see is when they're leaving the borough yard, the truck's there in the afternoon, and then they make their last run to the dump. So why isn't, if it's all collected then, it should be dumped before the driver goes to the dump?
I'm not arguing that point at all. That I will look into, but
Okay.
I'm just giving you a circumstances. Sometimes you will see it happen on the road. I mean, I see it, I deal with almost 700, 800 garbage trucks.
Yeah, because I understand too, all the containers are really supposed to have like almost not airtight, but really tight doors and stuff on them, correct?
They should be very close to watertight, very close.
Okay. All right, that's two, thank you. And then I wanted to ask like the engineer, is he here?
Yeah.
What's going on in Brunswick Avenue? What I understand they're going to be doing renovations. I saw they were doing sewer cleaning. What else are they going to do? The whole length, especially down by my house. Are they doing anything down there?
Between 2nd and Snow Hill, we're going to be doing roadway widening.
The other side, Tom, the other end.
Are they going to be putting sidewalks in so a kid could walk down one side of that street?
That's something that we're going to talk to the borough about doing.
Okay. All right, so they're not changing anything at the lights, or they're not going to be...
No, it's simply roadway widening, installing curbs and
Okay, yeah, that's been needed for years. Okay, and now finally and last, what's going on with this BVM at the old Asbury building? We've been through this too. Is that rezoned? Because the guy's got more garbage trucks in there now, dumpsters and brand-new dumpsters, and some of them are left there at night loaded,
Over there.
you know, with dumpsters and everything else, and they're coming down Crescent Avenue, the beginning of it, and there's the sign, once again, 4-ton weight limit. I want to know why this guy is still pulling in and out of there. Somebody must have sold him a bill of goods when he bought that building, that he can run this business out of there. Is that zoned for heavy-duty truck, and why isn't the street changed then for heavy-duty truck use on that end of that street?
Is he storing dumpsters on the property? Is that what you're saying?
Positively.
I've seen.
Go there now, they're there right now. He had the backyard cleaned out the other day, now he's putting stone down, and he put dumpsters in the back, and they were loaded with construction debris for days. And I told you that here, that's what he was gonna do, it's gonna make it into a garbage depot for him.
That gentleman was in front of the planning board. The mayor and I were excused from that meeting because we're not allowed to hear zoning issues. He went for a variance for the use of his building for that purpose, and the variance was granted.
However, we will speak to him because he's not supposed to be going down Crescent. He should be going out towards Main Street, which is governed for that kind of weight.
Well, he's not going Crescent the long way, he's coming
Shouldn't be
in the
going
front.
that-
How could he get in there? That was always my point with all these trucks. How can they get to a property here when there's a road here going into your property 4-ton? Does he levitate through the air? And the other thing too is, what's with the other across the street? Did anybody see that? What's with this Pantry Pride place or whatever, Jersey Pride, with buses? Is that zoned for bus parking? I know Rayfield's is zoned, but they've been there for years, so.
I think they probably signed some kind of agreement to store their vehicles.
How could they do that in the town? How does the town let them do that? Some of them buses are over 4
It's private
ton.
property, it's not town property.
So how do they get into the private property?
The express the cars that are there?
Buses, the big buses, there's big buses, not limousines.
I didn't know there was bus parking, did you?
I don't know.
There's like tour buses parked next to that Jersey Pride. There's, all summer, there was a fleet of them over there.
Tour buses like that limo guy? Them kind of
limo
buses?
guy.
Yeah.
Or do you mean like
Big,
No,
like
Express.
Jersey Transit buses were parked in that lot.
a commercial bus?
That's right. Yeah, what's the name of it? I had it written down. It's not, is it Paradise
Wasn't
Bus?
aware.
or- What is it?
I can ask them, but I wasn't aware that. We can have our zoning officer ask that because we weren't aware.
It seems like that end of town is getting, whatever they want to do, they can do. Bring the trucks in, bring garbage in, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then the other thing is, if he's got garbage dumpsters there, isn't there a creek right behind it that runs down into our lake? So is somebody going to be monitoring everything he puts in them dumpsters? Because that's construction stuff, and we know all the construction jobs always do what they're supposed to do with getting rid of construction debris.
But we do know that there's actually a 6-foot vinyl fence going around the entire property soon. So he's gonna have to bust his own fence and dump it down their creek.
But I'm saying, if it's in the dumpster, it's going to be running down out of the dumpster into the creek
Well,
with water.
we are aware, we believe it's construction debris, right? It's not it's not a garbage company.
They shouldn't be storing the debris there.
At all.
No. Maybe the dumpster is there for renovations to the building
Nope.
and not for
No,
actual.
I've been watching this for days. And another thing, I left my house like a month ago, and because I gave up calling sometimes with the police department. I mean, they're doing their job, but you know what? I'm tired of getting through that phone line sometimes. I back out of my driveway, and who's coming down? BVM with a loaded dumpster, and I know where it came from even, because I work in Milltown. He built a house next to the Grove. The little dumpster was gone, and on the back of that truck. So here's this guy, Jake Break Johnny, going across Brunswick Avenue. I followed him all the way to that yard. He spun the building and parked in the yard. They use Brunswick Avenue when they want to. If they feel daring that day, they run right down to Brunswick Avenue.
Tom, you're talking about the Asbury Fuel
Yep.
Company building, that yard?
Yep.
That's where he came down Brunswick to go into?
Yep.
Okay.
He stores roll-off, I read the minutes from the meeting, he stores roll-off containers there, but they're not supposed to have.
Well, I'll tell you what, take a ride by there tonight. You tell me what you see in the back of them trucks. And you look in the other yard and tell me what you see back there. This weekend, there was a pile of them in there, and somebody was in there with a little loader scraping out that backyard, because when he first took it over and started cleaning up, I figured, oh, good, he's going to do something with it just to keep it a nice place. But as we turned out, Crescent Ave is going to still be getting truck traffic all over it, even though there's signs right at the end of it, 4-ton weight limit. And then one day I was coming out of DeVoe, and at 5 o'clock, and who was in front of me? BVM with a dumpster with load in it. Where did he go? right past the sign, a 4-ton, right into the yard, because that's where they're working. They bought a building.
So I
So-
guess we'll talk to the code enforcer and ask them to look into the situation? Okay,
Please,
thank you.
they gotta
Thank you, Tom.
All right, and I'd like to, if I could, I don't know if you're too busy, I'd like to see you, Mayor, tonight, if I can.
Sure.
And also Mr. Stolen,
Sure.
you know, when you get a chance or something, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Anyone else? Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. I just want to ask on Resolution
Cheryl Bass.
Cheryl Bass, 289 Main Street. I just want to ask on Resolution 2018-148. This is about hazmat response, an emergency hazmat response. I hear on the traffic and weather report, oh, they had to shut the road down, there was a hazardous waste spill. Are there more trucks going through that have hazardous material than there have been in the past? Do they come through our town?
Hazardous material, hazardous waste, I mean, it could be anything. It could be from a motor vehicle, it could be from a truck, which we had a truck, went off the road, punctured his tank. That's fuel. Again, that's when we have, the fire department is out there. And also now we have to call hazmat to come in there to mitigate this, the situation. So now they have to recover the cost. So now we have to set procedures for us to also recover our money for the use of the trucks, the speedy dry, all that stuff. But it could be anything. It could be from trucks, cars.
Cheryl, I would say the railroad comes right through town, too.
Exactly.
So CSX, is it CSX? That transports anything. So,
A lot of these containers that, these trains carry, you don't know what they're carrying.
yeah.
Right, because I'm just listening for the traffic and the weather, and they say, oh, the whole road has to be shut down. The hazmat people who were called in. I'm wondering, is it that they're transporting more of these things now than they have in the past, or are there just more accidents happening
I think
with
it's
these
just
things?
busier
So
roads.
it's just
Busier
normal
roads.
things,
This-
okay? Because even your box trucks are carrying, your UPS, all of them are carrying stuff.
Right, okay.
Thank you, Cheryl. Anyone else?
Hi, good evening, everyone.
evening.
Colleen Ronco, 118 Manalapan Road. I just had a couple of quick questions with respect to the feral cat population over in Clearwater. Do you know if there's going to be colony caretakers?
Excuse me?
Is there going to be colony caretakers over at where the feral cats are in Clearwater? So nobody's feeding those animals?
We have one person who just works at it.
Okay. If there's a situation like this anywhere else in town, feel free to call me. I'll be more than happy to be a colony caretaker. I have no problem going out once or twice a day and feeding those cats. But they have to be TNR'd. The other issue I have is a couple of months ago, we got a call from the police department that there was a little white scruffy dog that was found. And now being that the NGSPCA is no longer around and we don't have an actual animal control agent here in town, it might be cost effective for the town. It's only $100 or so, but for them to purchase a pet scanner. So the night that that dog was found, I got a phone call about it. I had to call Lorraine Healy from Husky House. She came down with a scanner so that we could scan the dog to see if the dog had a microchip in it, so that we could get the dog home faster if it did have a chip. In fact, it did not. So the dog wound up going to Woodbridge. You have to hold it for 7 days, and then Woodbridge adopted the dog out. There was also a dog the other day that was found by DeVoe Lake. It was a little black and white Shih Tzu, and the person found the dog and picked it up and took it to Husky House, and Husky House scanned it, and it didn't have a chip. Husky House currently has the dog there. But I think with the police department and the fact that most people, especially in smaller towns like this, microchip their animals, it might be worth buying the $100 scanner, just leaving it in the police station. So this way, if there is a dog situation, somebody's got to go and pick up a dog. Police pick up the dogs when they're strays, if animal control's not around, or if they get, dumped off here because somebody picked it up and found it, just to get the dog back faster, or the cat. I'm saying dog, but dog or cat, would be quicker to get the animal back if we had a scanner, because then we could
You know
just call
what?
it
Where do you
in.
get those from?
And cost less.
Yes, it
And have
would.
to go through
Yes,
all
it
them
would.
fees
It
to get
absolutely
their
would.
animal
It
back.
absolutely would, because if you had the scanner here and you scanned the dog and it came up, I'll be more than happy, if they want to call me, I'll be more than happy to call it in to home again, get the information for the police department, and have the police department call the owner. And you're absolutely right, it would cost less, because you wouldn't have to have East Brunswick come out on a call and then take the animal over to Woodbridge and then try and recoup the cost when the animal's picked up.
You brought up an interesting point. Can someone who finds an animal call the police, and will the police come and get it? I didn't even know that we would do that.
They dispatch out animal control. Sometimes if there are ways out, the police will bring the dog back to headquarters for
Oh,
that.
okay.
As long as it's a friendly,
Right.
safe.
Yeah, and that's what happened this time. I mean, the dog was adorable. Yeah.
And a mascot for.
I can get you the information on it. You can, there's places online that you can purchase them. What I'll do is, Lorraine's got a universal scanner over at Husky House, so I'll call her and I'll ask her where she got her universal scanner from. This way it'll pick up any microchip on the animal, and then this way you can just call it in. And you're right, it would save you money if you didn't have to take these animals over to these other locations.
Thank you,
So that was,
Colleen.
oh, my pleasure. As far as, okay, the triangle in town. Okay, I live down on Manalapan Road. I cannot tell you between 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night what a nightmare it is to get down to that other side of town.
I agree totally with you.
I've had 3 incidents in the last month where I've gone through, the lights turn green, I've gone through the light, and then the people coming off of Snow Hill cut across, and
Yep.
now I'm blocked. I cannot go down Manalapan Road because there is a car literally, and the one car I almost hit. I came so close. I mean, I jammed on my brakes. The guy behind me jammed on his brakes. The guy behind him jammed on his brakes. And it's because they're trying to get out of there. You can't make the left-hand turn when you go down that little side road over where Benny's used to be, which tells you how old I am.
Yeah. Well, that's how old I am, too.
Yeah, so, so you only can get out. And, let's face it, people are trying to get home. Not everybody's being courteous and letting somebody go in front of them. So they get annoyed and they're cutting over there. It's really, that's one of your biggest problems with the traffic backing all the way up to here, because the traffic cannot get through. You're getting 1 or 2, maybe 3 cars through that traffic light because that traffic is literally stopped there.
And you see me, I'm shaking my head
Right.
like a Bobby doll, because I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've been the one trying to get across in a
Exactly.
safe manner
Exactly.
during that time. So I don't know if you missed it, Colleen, we did have a discussion, we did apply for a discretionary grant
Okay.
for money to fix that in some
That
way.
area, okay.
So it's safer, because truly, with the increased traffic that we're expecting from development in Monroe and development up in East Brunswick, it's going to be a nightmare.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be gridlock. And
Absolutely.
you're right, it's a cascading effect through the whole Main Street area.
Exactly.
So,
Because that traffic, like I
we
said,
are
I'm on
cognizant.
118 Main, or 118 Manalapan, which is, I'm about 4 or 5 houses past the church,
okay.
on the side where the
see it,
water, on
yeah.
the opposite side of the church.
That's Snow Hill,
Manalapan. And I mean, I can watch it right out my front window. From 4
Yeah.
o'clock until at least 6:30, it is backed up. Now, it's gotten even worse in the year and a half that I've lived there, because now it's backed all the way up to Brian's Mower, which
Yeah.
is all the way down almost to the Alcolt side of town. So is there any way that maybe they could station a cop over there, or at least a presence of a cop there, so that those people wouldn't be cutting across Snow Hill like that, and we wouldn't be backing all the traffic up over here to the, literally, it was backed up the one day to the railroad track because I was going to ShopRite, and I was shocked that it was back that far. I mean, it was all the way to the railroad track.
Is there a solution?
There's
Ted
not a
is a
solution.
former
I mean,
police officer.
If you turn around and put a cop there, they're going to expect the cop to do traffic control at that point. And do we have the resources to do that? Councilman Malolo brought up something about just looking at that whole intersection, perhaps re-engineering it. And that whole intersection is just a fiasco.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
It is. I've lived in this town 31 years, and when I moved here, it was nothing. Now,
You
it's a
can't have
disaster.
that in a busy, Main
just-
Street, you cannot have that kind of
And it's
a,
not even 4 to 6 or 4 to 8. It's all day long. I mean,
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
I know enough not to come through there anymore. I come down Fleet Street. But, you know, for people.
Yeah, but for people like me down at that end, there's no other way to get out of,
There's no other way for you to get out.
Yeah.
there's no way to get out of town. You have to come
get
up that way.
And I get, you know, you're backed up all the way to Brian's lawnmower, and the other side is backed up all the way to, you know,
Right.
to the post office and
Yeah,
beyond.
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand, it's a small
Monroe,
town,
it's
everybody's
East
driving through
Brunswick,
it.
It's all the.
We're kind of the hub.
Going up around us, and we
We
can't
are the
control
hub.
any of that.
Right. I mean, my main concern, though, like I said, is just those people coming out of Snow Hill, and they're just literally,
Sitting in the middle.
yeah, I mean, you know, here you're going straight, and the car's right here, and now you're trying to get down onto Manalapan, and you're just stuck there.
And what you're stuck with is frustration, because the car on Snow Hill can't get out.
Yep.
The cars on Main Street are pissed off because they can't move,
Exactly.
and they're not letting anybody in. I come out of the funeral home, half the time I make a right, go to the post office,
know.
turn around, and come out of the post office to go home.
I know.
Because there's no way for me to make a left.
Right. And I know, that's, yeah, I know.
Well,
and
I
Main
go
Street's
down the
just-
one that's supposed to turn onto Fleet, and then I ease myself into the other lane, because otherwise you're stuck there.
I just have one other quick thing. I know you guys are talking about roads and sidewalks and stuff like that. Those sidewalks still down at the other side of Main Street, going towards the railroad tracks where Schweitzer's is. Those kids, a lot of the reason why those kids walk down the railroad tracks is because there's no sidewalks when you get past a certain point.
Yeah.
They're either walking on the road or they're literally walking on people's property. Some of the people are fine, don't care. There are,
Cuts, the shortcuts, and then that's why they get whacked. It's a shame, really. That's what they use it for.
but I mean, I think it's, you know, I think that's something that needs to be looked at, that side of town, to at least put sidewalks on at least one side of that street. Because everybody that lives over there on the other side of that railroad tracks, right before you hit East Brunswick, they walk down the tracks. My daughter did it. I mean, when we lived in the apartment, she walked down the tracks, and quite frankly, I was more comfortable, and I know what everybody's going to say. I get the whole thing with, I've been here since 1972, so I understand about the railroad tracks. But I was more comfortable with her walking down the tracks than I was with her walking down Main Street. Because once you get past that certain point, you're on the road on both sides. So, I mean, that might be something that in the future we need to address.
Absolutely. Thank you, Colleen. Is there anyone else who'd like to come up? Ed? Oh, I felt that.
Ed Smith, 395 Old Stage Road, Spotswood, and I have two issues to bring up. One is, we've heard a lot of talk about curbs and sidewalks, and I want to know if is that going to be a general capital project, or is that going to be a local assessment?
Good question.
We haven't done assessments, not while I've been here.
General capital.
General capital.
Do you know that it's available? Okay.
And when we do roads now, we always do curbs because it protects the roadway. So if you don't put a curb in, people park a little bit off the road breaks up on that side. So we usually always put curbs in now when we do roads.
It also improves drainage.
Yes.
Okay. So the feeling of the council and the borough is the fact that anytime you put a curb or sidewalk in, that's going to be a general capital improvement. And it'd be nothing charged to the individuals that get the benefit of it.
It has not happened while I've been here.
Okay.
It's a walking district too, to school, Ed, so where we can, I would always encourage safe sidewalks.
My other question deals with the railroad tracks. And I want to thank Ted for bringing that up. I didn't hear about the accident where someone got hit. But I tell you what, I was crossing the railroad tracks by Schweitzer's, and it was dark. Okay? And I saw, as I'm going over the tracks, I see a train with the light on. It happened to be parked somewhere down by either Perry's Automotive or a little further down. Right? But let me tell you, man, I jumped on the gas pedal, man. Okay? But is there any way, and I guess that's the railroad's responsibility, but there's no light there that it's a railroad crossing? There's no, you go into a lot of towns and they have the gates that come down. Is there anything that we can make them install those type things?
I think we've
I
always
mean, man,
tried
I
to
think
do
Ed's situation Ted's situation was just somebody just, the children pass by and cars are coming up over the, right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just dangerous that there's nothing there to protect the.
Lights over.
There is light.
Well, there's
But
lights.
if he's far enough back on the track, he's not going to trip the light.
Right.
So if he's parked by Perry's,
Right.
Probably too far back to trip the warning lights. As he comes closer, there's going to be.
I'll have to take notice, because I didn't even think to do with lights down there by Schweitzer's.
Yeah.
There's red lights there because people, all the time, they pull up to them, they look, the train's way back, they blow over it. But it is a signalized crossing.
We did talk to him about gates once before, if I remember back a few years, and Conrail wasn't interested in doing that.
They're not interested in.
And
That was over by Appleby School,
What's
as a
happening
matter
with
of
these
fact.
gates?
And it's their responsibility, and if they say no,
They put down these gates and everything, and people are still slamming right through them.
Oh, I'm not saying all people are intelligent. I'm not bringing that point up at all.
talk about the gates, look at Old Mattawan Road by the VFW. They had the gates there for years.
Yeah, right.
They got hit so many times.
Right.
Conrail finally said, "We're not replacing the gates."
I'm
Exactly what they're doing.
Like I said, once again, I'm not questioning the intelligence of people that drive, but, I was just looking from a safety point of view, that's all.
And at that intersection between the tracks and the road, it's just a particular way where you're able to look far up the tracks. There's nothing to obstruct your view, so you can see that train when it's quite a distance away.
Oh, yeah, like I said, this one was actually parked there, but when I did see the light, I was a little, I don't know where it is, I didn't know if it was moving or not.
And you
but-
still got cars that try to beat the train.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a
Right,
train
right.
hit a car here.
All right, thank
A couple
you.
of times,
Right.
twice.
Thank you, Ed. Good points. Is there anyone else?
By the Colt place.
Oh, sure, John. Go ahead. John wants to speak.
I want to make sure that the mayor and the Dawn hears this too. The DPW, do we have a truck that goes around, like, even if it's twice a week or 3 times a week, if there's any debris in the street, and clean, and also with a nice broom, clean them sewer bases if they're clogged up?
We have
Do
a
they do
street
that?
sweeper, but it doesn't go out 2 to 3 times a week.
It's gone out more under Ed's
They're
rule
clogged
than
up
I
with
have
this
ever
and
seen
that
it
and
out
everything.
there.
Leaves, paper,
We also do have a vac truck for cleaning out sewer mains. But we only do that once a season.
When we're expecting a heavy rain, we'll go out and we'll try to clear them out.
They're for both. The sewer base, if they're clogged up, he gets out of the truck. If it's one guy, he gets the broom, he cleans up, he's got a shovel, throws it on the truck, and he goes on. If there's debris in the street, in other words, it's a one-man job, really, when you look at it. So I just want to ask that question in case you do it.
Good
They
question.
do that in the city, you know that. I mean, the suburbs, they're too elite, you know what I mean?
I'm writing it down.
Yes, he's writing it down. And so it shall happen. Thank you, John.
Don't go
That's a
that
good
far.
idea. Well, you got to lose. You got to clean up. That's all right.
Okay, anybody else?
Make a motion to close the public portion?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Anything else before we adjourn?
It says closed session on here, is there?
There's no closed session
There is
tonight.
no.
Okay.
Closed session?
Okay,
it.
motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a safe night.